Hi everyone, welcome to the party. Today we're meeting with Armel. So happy to have you here. So there is I shared a little bit on my channel about our talk today. This is a bit of an overdue interview. I think it's been 3 years
Probably.
that we wanted to do it, but you know what we say, it's always the right time. And it's funny because it gives us the time to kind of look at this journey from a different perspective. And I'm just going to let you introduce yourself and then we're going to dive into today's topics.
Yes, thank you. And it's very nice because we're also not only working here and interviewing, recording this podcast because we've known each other for a while, for 4 years now.
3 years. Yeah.
3.5 probably.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this podcast for a while because, of course, we share so many values and things, and we know each other pretty well too. So, I'm super happy that we're here today. I'm sure we have so many things to discuss. And to introduce myself, let's say now I'm mostly coaching people on the spiritual aspect of their lives. It's been a journey too because I've been starting this own, mentoring and coaching and guiding people through the field of yoga. And starting like this, I've been teaching yoga for a few years when I was living in France a few years back. And after that, I've been also guiding people through therapy and energetic healing. And it's been, a long journey to just arrive here. And now I'm more focusing on the spiritual aspect of people's lives and also adding my own journey, my own experience with what we call a massive awakening to unity, to God, which is, which has been also my journey, my path, with also giving birth to my daughter. She's going to be 1 year old now. So, yes. So let's say today I'm a coach working on the spiritual side of any individual, and also writing still, but it's changing too a little bit because I've been writing mostly on personal development, and lately I have been wanting to write on something else, and everything is evolving all the time, of course. So that's what I do right now, and it's my call.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to talk about this for sure because, you presented yourself in a few minutes, but there's just so much more that you're doing. And it's one of the topics that we will see how this goes, but I would like to dive into is about new Earth. I call it New Earth, or spiritual entrepreneurship, because I remember usually within our interactions within our conversation, there was always this like brainstorming and ideas and let's do this, and some of them come up years after, and there's all this beautiful visioning synergy that is just so natural. And also what I just love about you, first of all, is that you're no bullshit, meaning the kind of spirituality that you teach is absolutely 100% aligned. Like, I definitely want to say that. And I love that you mentioned the word unity. What do you mean by that? What do you like specifically when you say this word, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's such a, I would say it's such an easy and simple word, and still it's been complicated by humans in a way, because we're trying to grasp this concept of unity, which is at a point in our lives just a concept. And I guess we all, when we are interested in, the human side, and we're questioning ourselves, we're questioning the world, we're questioning metaphysical questions all the time, and we have this desire to understand the purpose of life, of existence, of, I guess, so many people right now have these questions, and they want to understand why, and why are we here? What is the plan? What is the plan on this earth? You're talking about new earth, and so what is it all about? And this concept of unity, I guess, is something that you can find in many fields. Unity, you can find it in yoga. Unity, you can find it in Buddhism. You can find it also in the New Age world, and you can find it in many different approaches. And still, what is it? And can it be taken from the let's say the space of concept and to be completely embodied? We could call it like this, to embody the concept of unity and to fully live it in our everyday life. That's something for me that is completely different. Talking about unity and merging with it and completely, embodying this is completely different. And at first, I was talking about it because, we're hearing this, everybody is one, we all the same, we all one, we are all humans, and let's be a big family. And that would be like this concept maybe we find in New Age or personal development, and, something that is not completely true for me, the truth, and what we could call unity, because unity would mean when you start to embody it, and that's what happened to me before my pregnancy, and there's nothing strange about it, there's nothing magical about it. Everybody can have this switch, and it happened for me just before my pregnancy, and sometimes for people it happens when they lose someone, when they face death, when they just live a very painful breakup, when they, every aspect of our lives is a way to understand this concept and to be able to transcend, the reality, the limitations, and just understand it fully and embody it. Like we said, it's just it's not a concept anymore. It's something that you've been experiencing again and again. And I'm pretty sure that everybody on Earth is experimenting this, but sometimes you don't see it. You just maybe not ready to see it, or not. You don't have all the tools to understand, okay, I've been living that probably because I'm able to switch from the ego and to go to the transpersonal and to go to the, metaphysical aspect of life, and to understand unity and to fully live unity. So unity for me can be different things. It can be a concept first, and then you can start to really fully live it in your life. And what happened for me was that it was a concept before. I was, searching. We've been talking a lot about this, so you know me. But we have this moment sometimes we just search again, and we're like, I don't get it. There's something I'm missing right now. And personal development is also sometimes a way that separates us from this concept, but we don't know it first. We're just thinking, oh, I need to do that because everybody is doing that. Everybody's working on themselves. Everybody's using the law of attraction. Everybody's doing some healings, and I need to do that to find truth and to find unity. So right now, for me, unity is truth, unity is God, and unity is when you just transcend all the concepts and go back to the pure knowledge that there is only one, which is the case when you just like remove yourself from this reality just 1 second and you just realize, wow, and that's it. All is one. And there is absolutely no separation between things, between people, between God and humans. And you realize at first that I didn't use the word God because there was too much fun. But then it became like completely, like obvious. Okay, this is it. And this is when you just merge with everything and realize if there is just one, there is just one spirit, there is just one power, just one God, just one source, and that's it. And then all the concepts of attracting, matching, being healed no longer apply.
Yeah.
Because it would mean separation again and again. So it was what happened for me. I was sure, I would need like an ayahuasca retreat to get this concept and understand God and be one with life. And actually it happened because I was starting to get pregnant and wow, and I was losing myself, losing my body, losing my identity. That was, my experience. And for other people, it could be something else. But that was it. And everybody can experience this every time in their lives at different moments, different aspects. So yeah, this concept can be very challenging and still it's so simple.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so simple when you live it, right? It's so hard when you try to grasp it from your mind. I mean, what an answer. I was having goosebumps all over, which is you can feel the difference between a teacher that is embodied, like in there, exactly as you said, like embodying unity versus artificial teaching versus ego teaching. It's gosh, there's just so much I want to ask at the same time, but let me just focus. I want to start because we sort of met through this cultural commonality. Well, I have lived 10 years in France. You are born in France. Well, Australia. Wait.
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So you are born in France, and we met while you were traveling with your person around Eastern Europe. But then we kind of instantly clicked. Like we knew there was more there. We obviously started engaging with, what you were doing. I was starting to go on this healing journey as well and building my business. And one thing that personally for me, the spirituality, as you said, like for you started early on mainly with yoga. For me as well, it started more like, well, it started in France and Brazil, but it started with these traditional type of healers that you find in like caves or art studios. It's not that, extroverted spirituality that now is like just everywhere, right? And we had a lot of conversations around this over the past years because we have started to also dive into those kind of concepts, right? And see like, okay, so let's see what's all this about. And what I love, something that you were sharing is that when you go from that pure spirituality, which is connection to God, which is truth, which is not necessarily shared, but it's something that you live, right, through the human experience. When you go from this to ego, to business, to aesthetics, to it has to look a certain way, it has to sell, it has to please the public. When you let the ego take the driver's seat, that's just when it's like, how do you maintain a balance, right? Because you also started to, I mean, you're very public as well, but at the same time, you're like always conscious of, let me not lose my truth.
Yeah, it's crazy because this question is, like the question you have right now and the question many people have. It's something that is coming back again and again because it's normal. We are experimenting this illusion of separation called ego, called identity, called personal consciousness. And this is all illusion. And this is what is complicated for us humans because we're so merged with identity, with ego, that we can't imagine that there is just one because we're still in this illusion of there is the ego on one side and God on the other side, or source, or all there is, So basically just reminding yourself this and knowing that the ego doesn't create anything and is not, like the creator of the dream. It will never be. It was never the creator and it will never be. And you just come back to this knowledge of, okay, so who is the creator? Who is creating this? And this is I. This is where we can fully come back to the I, which is also God, who is also God and existence in all there is. So you don't really have to maintain any state because you actually, we live through ego in the perception of identity in our everyday life because this is how we live on Earth, this big dream, this, we can really imagine that's different avatars. We all have different avatars of unity living this big dream. And at the end, it's just one spirit. And going back to the knowledge again and again that the creator is just one and that the ego doesn't create anything. It's just like removing all the needs to see who is talking right now because actually there is only one voice. But sometimes we have to translate this voice, what we call in the human field, on the human life, fears, frustrations, lack, all those concepts are coming from the same illusion of separation and the same ignorance of who we are in the sense of unity, God. When you know who you are, and that's one of the main, the main, how could we call that, like, the main message we can hear is know yourself and know thyself, which is come back to the knowledge that you are one and you are one with God. What we can read in the Bible too is you are one with God and the Father and I are one. It's just a way to explain that there is no difference and no separation between man and God, between the creator and the creation, which is just one. And I'm talking about the Bible because it's just like a book that you can read and understand all the symbolical aspects of unity and life. It's not a religious book. It's just like, okay, this is it. The concept of unity, you can grasp it in different places, but if you really want to know it, you can find it in the Bible. You can find it also in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the book, like the spiritual book for yoga and Hinduism. There is many different aspects if you read between the lines. If you take it like a story of, okay, because it's, the Bible is talking about sins, about how adultery and everything. It's not about, the concept on the human level. It's not, okay, don't cheat on your wife. It's just like, don't cheat on yourself. Don't cheat on unity God that you are, and remind yourself what you are. So basically, just reminding yourself this and completely living your life, because we need to fully devote to the life that we are living like the dream. Live your dream. Enjoy the dream. And that's through the dream that you're going to become the dreamer. Because everything is here, you know?
Ah, okay. I'm just like, I'm in a freeze moment. Like, I feel that the time stops. It's not, wait, say that again.
Yeah, it's, you know, through your creations, through creation, you come back to the knowledge that I am the creator, because there's no difference. So I'm trying to go back to your question. Yes, how do we maintain a state between ego and consciousness and pure consciousness? Actually, we don't have to, because we need to fully devote to the dream, fully devote to life, to understand that everything is absolutely perfect for us right now, which is all the time the case, because there is just one creator, one source, and this is unity. Everything is coming from the same place. And when, you know, when we live fears or frustrations or limitation, illusion of limits, it's the moment where we need to remind ourselves. So it could be, you know, like the translation we need to make. Okay, I see a big separation here. If I feel fear, it's not true. It can't be true, because there's no fear in unity. So this is illusion, and you know, it's like a vortex. You just like, you go into this fear, and through the fear you just like go at the end, and you find absolutely truth. Absolutely, well, you find absolute truth, sorry, because this is here. Unity is just here, you know, behind the curtain, behind the, you know, like the door that seems closed. It's actually the answer is here. So, yeah, to reply to this question is live your life, live your dream. And when you observe like illusions of limitation, just go through it and remind yourself that you are God, unity, source. You don't have to like trick your ego. You don't have to lose your ego. You just have to see that it's just an illusion. And it's here, but it's not like commanding anything. He's not the driver. He will never.
Illusions of limitation. Gosh, I love that. Yeah, it's funny because I don't remember if you were into astrology that much. Maybe not that much. But we are, the reason why I said in the very beginning that I feel like it's absolutely aligned that we do this right now is because we are very close to a full moon in Pisces, which is all about illusions. And I feel like this is really what is happening. Well, what's been happening for quite a few years now, but I think definitely very intensely throughout these last months of 2024 is that so many illusions are going to be lifted. A lot of people are going to struggle with, you know, identity, ego, all that kind of things. And this is very, very interesting because I remember that 3 years ago you were teaching a lot around, so your teachings have evolved into like more of, as you said, like core spirituality. But I remember you used to teach a lot about the matrix and getting out of the matrix. What is it for you? What is it that you were calling the matrix?
I guess that was, yeah, it's a good question, because I guess there was a topic that was also very collective at the moment. We met around, like, it was 2019 or
21.
21, okay. So just right after what happened with COVID all over the world. And there was this movement also starting between, you know, the matrix and the one who are in the matrix and the one who are awakened. And I think the word just came collectively at this moment also, and people starting to watch again the movie. And, you know, there is this, I think that's also now could be a joke, you know, when you talk about matrix and that's the movie for the conspiracy theorist or whatever. But for me, the Matrix at this moment was not completely the way I see it now, but we could call the Matrix just the dream we are living in, because this is not truth. This is a reality. And I had actually, it's funny because I had this image of, like we were just shopping in our city, just like, and I was watching the screens with all the cameras, to just like watch what was happening in the store. And I was actually thinking, wow, it's actually exactly what happens in our different realities. It's just the same, place, but there are different perspectives. You can see one camera here, one camera there, one camera, watching a part of the supermarket, and everything is happening at the same time. And the Matrix is the totality of all the realities. And that can be here right now, us talking right now, but we know that people are also living their lives in a different part of the world, and everything is happening all at once. So I think Matrix could be realities, all realities at the same time, same place in a way, in the same universe or different universes, but that's the totality of realities. And when you just dezoom from all those realities, you just go back to truth, which is one spirit, one consciousness that is projecting everything all at once. So for me, the Matrix doesn't have anything to do with government or anything else anymore. It could just be, okay, are you fully, let's say, immersed in the reality that you think reality is your truth, the absolute truth, or you can just dezoom and just one reality that is not truth, and just like living this dream. So the Matrix, of course, could be many things for different people, but it's just a way to talk about this dream that we are living in.
Wow, yeah, I really think that it sums up so well, because there is a very restricting, limiting, like concept of what the Matrix is, right? And it's just so much more than that. And I love what you said, like, are you living your truth? Are you living your truth, or are you in some sort of made up reality of seen through the lenses of mind programming, which is, everything that is like cultural aspects, societal aspects, but even like, bigger, like human global programming. It really makes you see that, well, as we're shifting into a higher frequency, higher state of consciousness, it's obvious that we're just going to expand our reality into something bigger. So it starts with questioning this. It starts with having all these, like, I was laughing earlier on because I remember when I think you were in Brazil at that time, but I remember you were just texting me and saying, like, there's something to this concept. There's something to this ego concept. And in the end, it was your baby that was your biggest teacher, right? Like, how did motherhood, because as I said, I really feel like you even said it changed for, even in your work, like your whole perspective on how you were approaching your work, everything shifted. Like, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. And I remember that time we were talking, and we were like, crazy lab people doing something, and
nerds, yeah.
Good, I don't know, the good match with ingredients, and at some point you just feel like this. And you were talking about the fact that at some point we question ourselves, and that's very important, because you can't force truth, and you can't force your awakening in a way. But at the end, it's not even an awakening. It's just you, God, you as source, just deciding that you no longer want um, to be merged with the reality and come back to truth. So yeah, you can wake up, but that's God waking up from the dream and knowing that is God and that is the creator of everything. And just that's the moment when actually you start enjoying your life. Because at first you just like think, oh my God, I'm losing my shit, I'm losing myself, I'm becoming crazy, I don't have identity anymore, but who am I? And it's very intense for people, and that was intense for me because I was so merged in the reality and the illusion that you just like can't imagine something else. And actually it's, yeah, when you go out from this state and yeah, you start enjoying your life because you know, and when you know, there's nothing that you can do to forget. It's just, that's it. And you've been awakened from this dream. And that's exactly what happened just before my pregnancy and 2 months before. Why? I don't know, maybe, I don't know, my body, well, the experience of my body was preparing itself. Maybe there was, different stuff. I needed to, I don't know, make some different experiments before, going to this pure state of knowledge. And I think also because when you get pregnant and when you start conceiving a baby, it's also not your body anymore. That's the way I analyze it, because you share your body with a little being that is being created by the same source and in the same way that everything is created. And your body is not your body, and you just start to know that because you don't do what you do normally. You just like, something is different, and you're moved by another like power that is inside, and you're sharing this. And I think it helped me to understand this concept of unity and to completely remove the veil of illusion. That doesn't mean I wasn't experiencing the body, I wasn't experiencing my life, I was experiencing everything, but just knowing I wasn't the experience. That was just an experiment, an experience. And truth was somewhere else, but was, yeah, something else. But I think that's what happened. And it started, yeah, just 2 months before. It continued the first trimester of my pregnancy. And then during the second and the third trimesters, I think that was kind of also setting up. And the birth, I imagine, just happened, we gave birth at home, and everything I've been seeing was actually happening. And I remember at this time I was still a little bit not completely in the knowledge of unity. I was still a bit, but still I was seeing this birthing, this home birth, and it happened. Because I remember I was like, the time doesn't exist. I am God, I am one. So what I see is exactly what's going to happen in a way. And that really changed everything. I could have never lived this birth without this knowledge. And after that, it's, it put something. And motherhood was just perfect the way it is now, because it's actually helping me to go through the tiredness, to go through pain, to go through everything, because you're just like removing yourself from the ego from time to time and knowing what you are. And that's how you can shift instantly from tired to very motivated and feeling good, because you know that you have this power. You know that you're not the body, you're not the ego, you're not the identity, so you can just go back to the knowledge and actually live exactly what you need to live. But it's a dance, and you can also forget to remember. That's how we do it here, in a way. So yeah, motherhood is completely different with this consciousness, and that's something every mother can live, and you can live it if you want to. If you are really called by truth and really called by, you can't force it again. You see people living in the dream, and that's okay, because there's no judgment here. That's just a choice. But if you see people wanting to wake up, wanting to know more, wanting to understand unity, like that was our case, and for all those years we met also at this time, we were searching for this. And when you have this inside of you, you can't like turn it off.
Oh yeah.
It's just, you want to know, and when you want to know, that's the moment where you need to switch from all those tools, from personal development, from illusion of separation, and that's the moment where you need to find truth. Absolute truth.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you said you can't turn it off, because I think it's related to the idea of control. Like so much of this quest, it's all about like losing the control, right? And motherhood, it's like the best way, because you don't have that much control over your body, over how it's going to happen. And that's where like the distancing from your ego happens. I'm curious to know about this, because I've been hearing about this new wave of baby starseeds who are actually just very, 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 very advanced. What would you say, like, for you? Because I know we've been talking about like homeschooling, like they need special care, right? They need special settings. How do you think they are going to change the fabric of reality?
Good question. Very good question. Very, maybe, how to answer that? The feeling I have right now, knowing truth and seeing this reality just as a reality, is that, in my opinion, and how can I say that? Yeah, babies right now maybe have something different than other babies, but in a way, if the babies that were born like from our generation and the next generations, maybe if they had lived at this time, actually they could have been also living this new era in a way, because we could also enter this, like, if we follow the big movement of the universe right now, we are called to go back to truth, to go back to what the Hindus call Satya Yuga, which is the era of truth, the era of light. That means what it means, like we are opening our eyes and we are just putting the light on illusions, and we are just waking up from the dream. But that's the moment where we're supposed to do it. So before, that wasn't. The babies before, they were just like what they are, and that's just perfect from the perspective of that, because illusion also serves truth, and to be able to to see all those merging with realities and all the illusions, we are actually able to see what is truth and what is not truth. So probably yes, those babies now, and I can see it with my daughter, and also because we made choices from this consciousness. That is one. That is, yes, maybe home birth, homeschooling, having all this consciousness that is raising up right now. So I would say those choices on the human side are just like manifestation of this consciousness coming back, because it's like the way the human life rearranges itself,
Wow. Yeah.
because, okay, we know now that probably school is when it's just about this calling, when you are a parent and when you have this calling of unschooling your child or homeschooling your child, or just do it in a society where it's not completely free, but it's gonna be, I'm sure, for the years coming. But right now, it's just like if you have this calling and you want to make this choice, it's because you need to make it, and you wouldn't be having this idea if that wasn't coming from the same place than everything else. So right now, I know that when I say to my husband, no, our daughter is not going to go to school, I'm like, okay, where does that come from? I don't know, but it's just the way it is. And that's also what consciousness wants right now. It's this new way of life. So I think all those things are just, manifestations from the unity of consciousness, just living a different dream. We are done with the dream we had before, and we want to live another dream.
Mm-hmm.
To live a dream where we feel free, conscious, and that's the way we can feel it right now, probably. But in a sense, if you just like accept truth in every aspect of your life, it could be that your kid has to go to school, has to make different experiences if you have the calling, but everything is perfect in all realities and all dimensions. So just follow what you really are called to do. And if you are still in your illusion, it's okay. It's just the way it is. But that's, I think this podcast of yours is also for people who have this calling and we are just maybe a bit lost in between. Like, okay, I'm not okay with the society before. I'm seeing something new. And they're like, what's next? So I think this is their calling to just, okay, I'm not crazy. That if I have this idea, maybe I can make it happen. So when you have this idea, this desire in a way, just follow it, because that's not a desire. That's what's going to happen for you, for your kids. And I don't know much anymore about starseeds. I think, yes, of course, we're coming from different universes in different dimensions, but that's just another separation from source, because everything is one, and in between it's just different realities. So you can call them star seeds, we can call each other star seeds, but if it has something, if it has a meaning for you, I think it's perfect, because that's what you're called to explore. And at the end, you just like also can take this and realize, okay, that's a reality. But when I know truth, it's actually maybe not that important anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing lately about this being also in a way, a programming, but I think, as you said, like there are steps to evolution, to like spiritual consciousness, and sometimes like we need that step to move us to the next step, and so on. And I love, you said something that, yeah, I think that I love what you said, that everything is happening organically and naturally, because so we're shifting from an old way of doing things where there were just so many rules and people used to follow like rules and whatever it was predefined, let's say, in a way. And now, as we're shifting more into an intuitive way, right, we need to trust that that's the right way. As you said, like I need to trust that what's best for my baby, it's doing this, or I need to trust that this business idea or whatever that is, or one big topic, I need to trust that this is the place where I want to live, right? Because that's been quite a huge quest for the both of us as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like trust. like, how do you trust that intuition? What was your journey to trusting your decisions and knowing, yeah, this is it?
Same, just like knowing it's coming from the same place. But sometimes you just need to do a bit of translating, you know. Sometimes it's, bright and clear, and you're like, yes, I need to do it, and you don't even think about it. You're just like, okay, I have this idea, I need to do this for sure. I don't know where this came from. It seems insane, but I need to do it. And sometimes it's that clear, and sometimes it's not that clear, and you're like experiencing an idea, a desire, a calling, and you're like, okay, but what is inside of it? Sometimes it can have fears, it can have, you can feel like you're running away from something, but you feel it, you just, there is maybe more to it. Sometimes, for example, to take back the example of moving houses, countries. Okay, you have this calling. I want to move to Jamaica, whatever, like, okay, I want to move to Jamaica because I'm sure Jamaica is going to be better than my country right now. And where did that come from? If you feel it could be just a desire that is hiding something else, you would also know in a way. So just like when you have, you're not completely sure, let's say it's not this bright and clear idea coming out from source, and it's like, okay, and let's say you have some doubts and you're just like, okay, you can just take this idea, relax a little bit in a way, and just explore. Is it really that? Is it really that I want to go to Jamaica or to go to, I don't know, to Scotland, to whatever country this is? And is it really that? Or if there's something more to it, like, is it because I want to live in a certain environment, I want more nature, I want more sun, I want more, is it because I'm running away from something, and then you exploring yourself, and you're like, oh, okay, in fact, I just don't want to go to Jamaica, I just need to see that there is something a bit contracted inside of me that is be released in a sense, and observe. And then maybe this idea will just like fade away and you no longer want to move. But just we don't all the time. We know exactly what we need to know at the right time. So if you have a desire to move somewhere else, and then during the day you meet people who are talking to you about this country specifically, or that is engaging in in the same direction, you can just like observe your reality and feel, okay, so I'm trusting this. But you can also maybe have different visions of that, and actually you hear other stories, or you have other ideas, or you're actually thinking, no, I don't want to go there. And, just we need to know everything that is happening. It's just like a big treasure hunt, and we need to find, okay, the answers. And all those answers, they are just in our lives, in the reality, in the matrix, in a way. Every answer is here, because you are decoding, translating everything that is happening, and it's not complicated. It seems complicated because you're like, yeah, how do I know if I can trust myself? But actually there is only one source, and sometimes we need to make a mistake to understand something, and it's not it's just like you need to do that. There's nothing wrong with it,
For sure, like it takes practice, right? It's like a muscle. And I think like a big part of the reason why for us it may be a little bit easier right now is because we've also been very good at removing external influences that would, gaslight maybe our intuition. And for many people that are having an awakening right now, they need to first understand that it is I don't want to call it a lonely path, but it is, choosing your own truth. It sometimes may come with a lot of resistance from other people who aren't willing to grow, and that's okay, but it's not a reason for you to stay in the bubble. So yeah, that's a big part of this journey as well.
Yeah, it's I think many people don't actually listen completely, and that's the problem probably with the reality we live in right now, which is not a problem, it's just illusion on one side and truth on the other side. But at the end, it's just one and the same thing. But maybe just when you have this little voice, I'm sure people are not even hearing this voice. You're like, I don't question. You were talking about questioning ourselves. You don't question anything. Like, okay, someone told me this. Okay, I'm not even questioning myself. It could be just like as simple as that. Like, just like taking a break. Do I really want to do this? Or do I feel called to do this? Because sometimes it's not very, nice. We are called to do things we don't want to do. And that doesn't mean we don't have to do them. But, it is something I'm called to do. Yes, no, and sometimes you just like push to you were talking like resistant with other people. Sometimes I'm sure you experience this is you want to tell something to someone and you're like, oh my god, I can't say that, it's too much, but you're like, this is what I need to say and this is what I need to do, and actually it's coming from something very deep. And sometimes I found it myself, telling some stuff to people I didn't want to talk, like I didn't want to say, because I was like, no. And still it was perfect for them to hear, for me to say, and for the situation to just be perfect the way she was meant to be. It was meant to be. And you don't know why, but for me right now, the main focus is remembering who we are, unity, source, God, and from this knowledge to be completely devoted to the experience. If you want to if you are called to do something, if you want to say something to someone, do it and don't question too much. Question yourself, like, is it, the calling? And after that, don't question yourself anymore. You did it because that was supposed to happen like this, because this is the same power all the time. There's no mistakes, because every experience is okay. The concept of good and bad is just like another concept of separation. In God, there is no good and bad. It's just like choices. And yes, in the human timeline, we can feel sometimes we're just like losing our time because we're not doing what we are called to do. And probably because the concepts of time and space also are very flexible and don't exist in truth. On the human perspective, it can feel like you spent your life doing things you didn't want to do, or you just, you've been screwing your life up. Yeah, but at the end, there's no judgment. It's just because time doesn't exist. But if you really want to live this full embodiment of creation and creator that you are, actually, the more you just engage in life and you do things without too much questioning, without too much hesitating, you're just living your life. And it's how I think, like the time is going faster, and you are time. We are time. We are the time. So we do everything with time. And the more you live this experiment, this dream, the more you are actually, like exploring this dream.
Exactly. Yeah. And many of those experiences were actually, growth lessons. Like we wanted to experience them. We would, our ego may judge those, but they were just part of part of the dream, part of the experience for sure. Yeah. I I I felt like it's been 5 minutes. Like we're almost close to an hour. Wow. I just want to close with because there was something with a question, because there was something beautiful you said about, how did you say it? Right, yeah, about trusting. And this is applied to our purpose, because a lot of people are transitioning right now from 9 to 5, doing things they don't enjoy. And again, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 if you like the security that comes with it. And if it's not a judgment. It's not like we're superior species. It's just that if you're not doing what your soul is calling you to do, then you're just limiting yourself in a reality that is not your ideal dream. But with it comes a lot of fear programming. With it comes a lot, because in order for you to step into a journey where you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, like it's this fear that, oh, am I going to run out of ideas? Oh, am I going to, is there going to be a financial safety net? All these sorts of ideas come up, right? And even for me, before I stepped into this entrepreneurship journey, especially a spiritual one, I was not expecting it. It's like it's a whole different outlook on life. It's like it takes so much trust in your decisions, and it takes, well, obviously ups and downs. It's a journey, and in a way it's tied to your own like spiritual journey. But what would you say to people who are maybe still in the process of like looking for their purpose, or maybe having this hesitancy? I don't know, any message that wants to flow through you right now?
Yeah, it can be, I would say that there is no like collective answer, because everybody is living different realities. Everybody is living a different reality. And also the concept of purpose and soul, that could be integrated in the separation, the illusion of separation of the totality of existence. Because let's go back to truth again. God doesn't have like a purpose or a soul. It's just like this infinite existence. It's just like this infinite spirit that can't be broken, that can't be damaged, and is, let's say his, but of course it's not like a man in the sky, but God wants to experiment everything. And is actually allowed to experiment everything, illusion and truth. And for me, the concept of soul is actually not that important anymore. Yes, of course, we can live the experience of a soul with different aspects, like an ego has different aspects, and we can have this feeling of a purpose right now, and that's perfect. When you feel like it's perfect for you. But you can also like explode these concepts and go back to truth without working on your purpose and on your soul. You don't have to. You can just switch to truth and know that a soul is also an experiment, also a different reality happening at the same time, all at once. There's no difference. All realities are perfect. And to reply to this question, you have to, again, know truth. Come back to that, because if you see the soul on one side and like the body on the other side, you're just again operating in illusion, and you're not in unity that we were talking at the beginning. So just go back to that and I know that Dolores Cannon, like a famous author, she's been, writing a lot of books back in, I don't remember, like the 80s or 90s, probably like it's been 40 years or even. And she's been,
Yeah.
talking about those waves of volunteers. And okay, yes, maybe that's also the manifestation of this consciousness coming back. We are like these volunteers on the human dream, in the human dream. But in truth, there is absolute no volunteer, no souls, nothing, just truth and unity. And I find it's also what is challenging because you can explore different concepts and different words that we've been using a lot in spiritual field, and you just need to observe this and like, oh yes, actually, soul this, and that's also separation. How do I just integrate this as a part of reality and different realities and the perfection of existence, the perfection of creation, but just don't identify myself to that.
Ooh.
It's completely.
Yeah. Oh my, yeah. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yes. Do.
No, I love that. Like I feel like the whole topic, I don't know yet how I'm gonna call it, but it's like I love the idea of the scale of consciousness. And in a way, I don't know if you would call it like that as well, but in a way, the whole idea of purpose as well, it's a pretty advanced scale, let's say it's a pretty advanced step. But I feel like it's almost like a carrot on a stick because it's to go from purpose to truth, right? Like in the beginning we go from illusion to ego to star seeds to all new earth, all that sort of thing. And we're like, when we are in a lower level of consciousness, we're like, I want my purpose, and then let's say because like you don't, it's not a one thing, right? When you're going to discover that you have all sorts of gifts and you're going to use them in a way that is of service, but it's not that one thing that our ego just wants to attach to find the one identity and be happily ever after. But now that as I was hearing you speak, like that's how I see it. It's like a carrot on a stick to have us take one more step towards truth and nothingness and unity and everything.
Actually, maybe at some point we needed this purpose, this carrot, and that's absolutely perfect. But when you have this calling again to transcend everything and go back to what you are, know yourself, know unity, know God, there's absolutely nothing that can go wrong. And when we were talking about, financial fears, and there is also this verse in the Bible that says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, because I lack nothing. And again, this is this is symbolical. If I am God, if I am truth, if I am unity, there is absolutely nothing, that I need to want because I am already everything. And the simple fact of remembering the spirit that I am, the Holy Spirit that I am, actually removes all the fears because I am the money, I am the relationships, I am the country I want to live in. But not in the sense that I need to work, I need to match energetically, I need to heal, I need to become the magnetic match to financial abundance, Not in that sense. Like, nothing to separate yourself from, but you are it from the pure consciousness of unity because you are spirit. And that's different, that thinking you need to heal, work, modify, and everything from the human side. And repeat, I am $1 million, I am abundant, I am this. No, it's just knowing. And if you have this idea of, okay, I need to launch this, whatever, this group thing, this product, I need I don't know, this money to buy this. Everything is actually going to happen from the same place. So you actually, remove all the fears.
Mm.
And that's completely different because, I experimented this and we sometimes go back to this, illusion and then, okay, no, I remind yourself. And you can see that actually from the place of peace and serenity and acceptance. When you are operating from this consciousness that you are, the pure and only that exists, you just accept everything. Even though it looks weird on the human side, even though if it's losing someone, being sick, being broken, being broke, being whatever, just experimenting this because it's all the time something that is teaching you to come back to what you are. And when you're done with one experiment, you can just close it and go to the other one, the next one. I know it's very complicated sometimes for the mind, the human mind, because you're like, wow, how can I do that? But you don't have anything to do. You just have to remember. And that's the main difference. The teaching, the coaching industry will tell you you have to work, you have to do that in order to. And actually, the way of truth is no, you don't have to do anything. You just have to remind yourself what you are, and then everything will unfold in front of you. And that's sometimes for us, it's sometimes too good to be true, but no, it's not, because we are spirit and we will forever be, and that's what's magical about it.
Oh my God, you stole my, I was just thinking about this word, magical, because it makes me think of the magical, the childhood, the magic of childhood, when you're it's just, life is a whole experiment and you're going for it, right? And it's that's fantasy world. That's the dream. That's the dream. So, yeah, my dear, I love you so much. Thank you for your time. I'm sure so many people watching are going to just find your answers amazing. So much wisdom you shared with us today. Anything you are working on right now or you want to share or not, or
just it's perfect like this. I'm so happy we could have done this podcast, and I think we can see now it was the perfect moment to do that. Because maybe, before it would have been, I don't know, I felt it was the perfect moment. And again, just, if you have this calling of being and discovering truth, it's your wake-up call to just explore everything that you've been learning, and especially if you are in the personal development, the coaching industry and everything, and if you're just fed up with all this, because that's the signal, when you're just fed up with something, it's also coming from the same place, and that's the signal you have to just change and go to something else. And that something else is probably finding truth. And if you have this feeling, just go for it. There's nothing that can go wrong, because everything is just experiments, illusions on the way, but the dream, you have to live the dream. So don't be, don't fear to just lose things that you are attached to. And there's also this, sometimes the body, the ego is the thing we are very attached to, of course, because we identify with it. So that's probably the thing you're gonna lose if you're looking for truth, because it's gonna, hurt us, where it's, it's very painful to lose the self, to lose the identity, to just, so probably it's going to be this way or any other way. But yeah, I would say if you're ready, just go for it, and nothing wrong can happen. But it can seem like a process, and it's just like an experiment. Again, there's nothing bad, nothing good, just like your life, your dream, living exactly what you are supposed to dream right now. And also that, thank you, thank you for this, invitation, for talking about this. It's yeah, I guess, like you said, also it's very important to spread a message for those we are on this, in this stage, in this questioning.
Stages. Yeah, it's funny that you said, losing the attachment, because just before our call, I was planning on recording another video. Lately I've been just very, very much into tarot. I love it. It's just very creative. It's a very nice tool, and it helped me. It's like, the back wheels of a bicycle in a way. But I was like, today I was like, I'm so fed up. Like, I don't want to use it anymore. Like, I'm so fed up. Like, okay, next stage, next level. And I feel like it's like, don't be afraid to, yes, use a particular set of tools, but then also know that you don't need to like stay attached to it your whole life. And it's also the idea of purpose. Is like, there is no one, career, and you follow your career plan for the rest of your life. It's like, go with the flow of your life and see where it takes you.
Yeah, exactly. Because life is just also like your life, our lives are just like concepts, and it's just, in a way, everything is actually the same thing. And that's why you just lose the judgments and the good and bad, and and sometimes that's the hardest part, because we can think we live in a world where there is so much violence, whatever, but losing the concepts of good and bad could also help, and losing the judgments of something is better than something else. But truth is the only answer. Honestly, we've been searching for years. I've been searching for years, and it came like this. And I was just, wow, is that simple? Yes. So, yeah. Go back to being poor in spirit.
Yeah. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.